Hello. Yes, we are getting ready to start lesson 4. And as we get ready to start lesson 4, I'm going to remind all of my distance learning parents that by the time the lesson is over, you need to be sending your teacher a picture copy of the exit ticket. We need to have the exit ticket for every lesson every day. This is what it looks like for lesson 4. And it is located on page 68 of your packet. I know that your packet is put together kind of in a strange way, but that's only because when we made that packet, we still were not very familiar with the program, and so some of the pages might be a little bit more difficult to find, so I'm going to see if I can't try to help you out with that. Also, friends, if the video seems like it's going too fast or you can't keep up, please use your pause button on your computer so that you can stop and go back and listen to things that maybe I'm going through very quickly. It seems that way. I will tell you that each of the video lessons are taking between 40 and 50 minutes as compared with how long I spend with it in class, which would be an hour and about an hour and a half. So I am condensing the lesson for that day into a 50-minute period versus an hour and a half. So if it seems like it's going quick for you, just slow down, go back, rewind, use the pause button, because you can watch that video times as many times as you want. So be aware that we are going to be, you'll need to send us send all of the teachers a copy of the exit ticket, and that should be for every lesson that you do. As we pointed out in our meeting last Friday, we as teachers are still learning this program as well. And so, as Ms. Kissel said, we're building the ship as we go. So hopefully I can straighten that out for some of you. The next pages that we are going to be working on will be the problem set, but I will get to that a little bit farther down the road, because that's not where we're starting today. We're actually going to start today with drawing 10s and 1s. So, a group of 10, when you're drawing a 10, it is a rod. A rod which is equivalent to 10 ones. Let me start that again. I'm going to draw 10 ones very quickly here. Oh my gosh, that's not erasing as good as I would like it to do. Let me get my little hand cleaner here and see if maybe I can't get that to erase a little bit better. Okay, a little hand cleaner here. See if I can't get that to erase better. So let's take a look at the the quick 10s that we're going to start drawing today. So if I had a group of 10, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember us talking about this? 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. A little space in between so that I have, there we go, sorry, 5 and 5. So 5 groups of 1s plus 5 groups of 1s would give me 10. Now, when we are doing a quick 10, we're changing that group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a solid line. So instead of doing 5 little 1 pieces, we draw a solid line called a rod. So if I was going to look at these two groups of 10, I would now have 10 and 20. So just so you understand, when we're doing a quick 10, we're changing 1, 2, whoops, I'm sorry, I need to go from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to make that into a quick 10, I am drawing the line all the way through. So at this point now I have 10, 20, 30, or 3 groups of 10, and if I was going to show the 1s, I might have 3 groups of 10 and 3 1s. So 10, 20, 30, plus 3 more would give me 30. Woo, that's way off the screen. Would give me, oh my gosh, it's not way off the screen, 33. So 10, 20, 30 plus 3 more would give me 33. And that's what we're going to be practicing today. We are going to be practicing some quick 10s and changing those into whole numbers. So let's take a look And we're going to draw another group of some quick tens. So remember, a straight line down would be a group of 10, another group of 10. So now I have two tens. How many tens do I have? 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens. That has a value of 40. That has a value of 40. And let's do 4 ones. So I have 4 tens and 4 ones. If I was going to add 4 tens, which is 40, plus my 4 ones, I would end up with 44. So 4 tens and 4 ones is 44, which is the same as 40 plus 40. So we're going to do a little bit of practicing with those quick tens, which is what they're called, and that just does not want to erase very well. Let me try this and see if this doesn't help. As I said, just trying out a couple of new things to see if I can't get things to work a little bit better while we're doing these videos for you at Distance Learning People. Here we go. There we are. Okay, oh, that's a little bit cleaner. So you're going to be, I'm going to move this up just a little bit more so I can have a little more space. So you figure out there's my tens. Can you count how many there are? Did you say that there was 5 tens, which has a value of 50? That's good. Now watch my ones. There's 5. And 2 more makes 7. So I have 5 ones, which has a value of 50, and excuse me, that's 5 tens, which has a value of 50, plus the 7 ones gives me, did you come up with 57? If you did, congratulations. We're going to continue to do a few more of those to practice those quick tens. Okay, here we go. Let's see what you think about this one. Did you pay attention? Okay, I'm going to give you just a minute to think about that. What number is represented by this many tens and this many ones? You might need to pause the video so that you can count. Then I'd like you to write that down somewhere so you can check yourself. Okay, did you pause the video? And are you back? So if you said that this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens, 7 tens has a value of 70, and 5 ones plus 3 more ones gives me 8, because 5 plus 3 is 8. And if I add my tens and my ones together, did you end up with 78? If you did, congratulations. Good job, my friends. Let's try another one. What if I had, there's my tens, and take just a minute. You've got a little space in between there. Little space in there. How many tens and how many ones? Pause the video. Okay, are you back? Did you end up with 40 for your tens, because there's 4 tens, plus 5 and 4 is 9. Did you come up with the number 49 using our quick tens? If you did, again, congratulations. Okay, I'm going to really try to trick you this time. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video. Okay, you're going to have to watch close. Maybe you could count while I'm even drawing. If you need to, pause the video and count them. Are you back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That has a value of 90 because it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 plus, how many ones do I have? I have 2, so 90 plus 2 would be 92. How did you do? Did you do really good there? Well, I hope that you did. So we have been practicing how to draw quick tens. Alrighty? You may have remembered doing something similar to this when you were in first grade when you were using rods and cubes. And we're just going to stretch that a little bit farther for second grade and do lines and dots. Okay, we're going to do another exercise called Make 10. So if I gave you the number 9, what would I have to add to 9 to equal 10? What would I have to add to 9 to equal 10? If you said 1, you are exactly correct. Could I also do the opposite, which would be the commutative property? Oops, I just about didn't do the commutative property there. Let's do the commutative property of addition, and 1 plus 9 would also equal 10. It doesn't matter the order that the addends are in, it would still have the same value or sum, which would be 10. Let's try another one. Remember, we're going to make tens. Here we go. Let's do 7 plus something equals 10. What would I have to add to 7 in order to equal 10? Did you say 3? If you did, congratulations. And I need you to think about the commutative property of addition, which means that 3 plus 7 would also equal 10. So let's take a look at another way to make 10. All right, here we go. What if I had 5 plus something equals 10? Would you know what to do there? Oh, I think everyone at home said I would need a 5. You would be absolutely correct. Now, if I was going to do the commutative property of addition, I would still end up with the same thing. Why? Because anytime we have doubles, we call this doubles, there is only one equation to go with 5 plus 5 or 4 plus 4, so we really only need to write it one time. All right, are you ready to try another one? Here we go. I'm going to try another one. Let's do 4 plus something equals 10. What would I have to add to 4 to get 10? If you said 6, you are right on the money. And of course, the commutative property of that would be 6 plus 4 equals 10. If you are catching on to this, I am very, very happy. That's wonderful. So we have done a couple of ways to make 10. We're not done yet, though. Oh my gosh, look at that big mess I just made. Not a good thing. That's okay. I've got lots of different ways to wipe my desk. All right, what if I did this one? What would I have to add to 10 to get 10? What would I add to 10 to get 10? Well, this one is so easy. I hope everyone said that I would add a 0. Commutative property would also say that 0 plus 10 is also 10. Commutative property of addition would tell me that. Okay, let's erase. And let's try another one. How about if we did 2 plus something would equal 10? Let me give you a second to think about that. What would I add to 2 to get 10? If you said 8, congratulations, it would be 8. And if I did the commutative property of addition, that would be 8 plus 2 is also equal to 10. All right, so think about what we do to make tens. And we've been practicing that an awful lot since we started this new math unit, just the same way we've been doing it when we take care of the number bonds. All right, so now I have our reckon rack, and we are going to be looking at making the next 10. So if I start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got one group of 10. I'm wondering if I had one group of 10 and 2 ones, what would it well, actually, let's do this. Let's make it one group of 10 and 9 ones. If I wanted to complete this instead and have 2 groups of 10, which would give me the next 10, I would have to go from one group of 9, or one group of 10 plus 9 more, or 10, 9, which is 19, plus 1 more would give me the next 10, which would be 20. So I have 210 now. So let's take a look at 210 plus 5. 210 plus 5 ones would give me how much? 25. 210, 5 would be 25. How much more would I need to get to the next 10? Well, if I look here, I can see that I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to the next 10, which would be 30. So now I have 3 10 and no ones. What would my next 10 be if I had 3 10s and 8 ones? So 3, 10, 8 gives me 38. Can you see how many more I would have over here that I would need to use to make the next 10, which would be if I took these 2 and moved them over, adding those 2, did I make the next 10? I did, and that next 10 would be 4 10s or 40. So I'm going to keep going here for a minute. Let's make another opportunity. I'm going to change this now to 4, 10, 4, which would be 44. How many more would I need to add to go to the next 10, which would be 50? Can you see how many more I would need? Here's 5 plus 1 more. Would that be 6? So 43 plus 6 more would take me to my next 10, which would be 40. So now I have 410. 1, 2, oops, oh, I goofed that up. Look at that, Miss Star, you made a boo-boo. That would be 1 10, 2 10, 3 10, 4 10, 5 10, which would be 50. I think I said that a minute ago and then didn't repeat myself correctly. All right, so I've got 5 10, and I'm going to do 5 10 and 6. So 5 10 6 would be 46. How much more would I need to get to the next 10? Are you seeing how many more I would need to get to the nearest 10? I would need to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be 56, and added 4 more, I would be at the next 10, which would be 60. Okay, I'm going to move this up just a little bit because I have a few more rows we need to get in there. Even a few more. I got to go up a little tiny bit higher. Oh, this is interesting. This rick and rack is pretty tall. Oh my gosh, we're having, there we go. I think I did it. So now I've got 6 10, and this time I'm just going to move 2 over. So 6 10, 2 would be 62. How many more would I need in order to be able to get my next set of 10, or to the next 10? Are you seeing that I have 5 and 3 more? Would that be 8? I think it would be. So if I moved, if I had 62 and I added 8 more, would it take me to my next 10? It surely would. So now I have 1 10, 2 10, 3 10, 4 10, 5 10, 6 10, and 7 10s. This time I'm going to move over 7 pieces, and I have 77. 7, 10, or 7, 10, 7 would be 77. How many more would I need to make the next group of 10? If you said 3, you would be exactly correct. If I move my next set of 10 over, now if I move that 3 over to make the next 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So now I have 8, 10. So I have 8 groups of 10. What would happen if I moved this many over? So I've got 8, 10, and 9. How many more would it take to make the next 10? It's pretty simple. I just have to slide this one over to make the next 10, which gives me 90. Congratulations if you saw that. Now, if you're unsure, you can always go back and rewind the video and watch it again. This time, I'm going to move over 4 and 5. So I've got 9, 10, and 5, which would be 95. How many more would I need to move over to get to the next 10, which would be 100? If you said, well, Miss Starr, there's 5 here, and if you move those over, you would get to the next 10, which would give me 10, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Congratulations if you figured out how to make the next 10. All right, so let's take a look at the next concept that we're going to be working on today. This is called take out 1. So I'm going to start with 9 plus 6. I'm going to start with 9 plus 6, and we're going to try and figure out 9 plus 6. So what I am going to do is I'm going to break apart. I'm going to ask myself, how much more would it take to make that 9 a 10? Does it take 1 more to make that 9 a 10? Well, it does. So I'm going to break my 6 apart into 1, so I can add this here to get 10, and that leaves 5 more. So this is like a little mini number bond where I have 1 plus 5 equals 6. But now I can make this addition very easy for myself. I can say 1 plus 9 is 10, so I've used 1 and 9 to get 10, and I still have 5 that I haven't used, so I get plus 5 would equal 15. Therefore, 9 plus 6 is 15. All right, so I just did that by trying to figure out how to make a group of 10 quickly. So I took 1 away from the 6 and added it to the 10, or added it to the 9 so I could get 10, and then it's very easy to add 1s and 10s as we saw in 10 plus 5 is 15. Let's try a couple more of those and see if we can't see how that works, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be on your exit ticket today. So here we go. I'm going to try another one. Let's do 7 plus, oh boy, that's not dry yet. Got that too wet. 7, uh-oh, I've got myself a little problem because it's not drying fast enough. That's what you get when you get it too wet, Miss Starr, because then it won't write on your desk. Let's try that again. Here we go. So I have 7 plus, let's do 7 plus 6. Let's do 7 plus 6. And I'm going to see if I can figure what that is by taking 1 out. How much would I need to make that 7 a 10? Well, if you say, well, 7 plus 3 is 10, let's take 3 out of that 6. And I'm going to have to still have a 3 left over. So I'm breaking 6 into 3 and 3. Still 6, but I'm just breaking it apart. Now it's easy for me to make a group of 10. 7 plus 3 is 10. So 7 plus 3 is 10. And adding 10 to the 3 I haven't used yet gives me 13. So if you said 7 plus 6 is 13, you are absolutely correct. And how do I know that? because I took some away from that 6, added to 7 so I could get 10, then adding the rest of those 3's becomes very easy. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do, I hope that's not too wet, might be. Let's do 6 and 5. Let's do 6 and 5. How much would it take to make a 10 out of that 6? Well, you're thinking, Miss Star, if I added a 4 to that 10, I would end up with 6. Yes? So I've taken 4 out of the 5. That leaves me with 1. 10 plus 6, or excuse me, 4 plus 6 is 10. Sorry, I look at those two numbers and 10 just comes into my head. And then I have one more I haven't used yet. 10 plus 1, that's easy, that's 11. That tells me that 5 plus 6 is 11. So I can find quick ways to make a 10. Quick ways to make a 10. How much do I have left over? That would give me 11. So this is just a quick way for you to look at different ways of adding things in your head, because we're trying to get better at mental math, my friends, where we can do more of the addition in our head rather than having to do it on pencil and paper. Let's try another one. Let's do 8 plus, here's an interesting one. Let's do 8 plus 9. Well, 9 is closer to 10, and I know that if I add 1 to 9, I'm going to get 10. Yeah? So how about if I break my 8 apart with 1? So if I add 1 and 9, that's going to give me 10. What else, if I broke that 8 apart, wouldn't that give me 7 here? So then all I have to do is add the ones I haven't used yet. That gives me 7. 10 plus 7 equals 17. So 8 plus 9 would be 17. How did I do that? Well, I'm looking for a quick way to make a 10, seeing how much is left over, adding the 10 and whatever was left to come up with a simple solution. I think we'll try another couple of those to see how we do with that. Just another couple, and then we will be moving on to the next part of our lesson. All right, let's try, let's do 8 plus 5. There's a good one, 8 plus 5. What would it take to make a 10 out of 8? Well, doesn't it take 2? Yep, it does. 2 plus 8 is 10. What would be left from the 5 if I took that 2? Wouldn't that be 3? So I'm adding 10 to the 3, and that would give me 13. So 8 plus 5 would equal 13. 10 plus 3 is 13, and 8 plus 5 is 13. How did I come up with that? Because I asked myself the question, what could I add to the 8 that would give me 10? That would be 2. That would mean I had 3 left I hadn't used, so 10 plus 3 is 13. And we all know how easy it is when you're adding anything to a 10. It just goes very quickly. Okay, one more, and then we'll move on to something different. Let me just get my board, my desk here a little bit more clean. And we're going to try one more. Let's do 7 and 5. We're going to do 7 and 5. I ask myself, did we already do 7 and 5? Let's do 7 and 6. I'm going to ask myself the question, what can I add to 7 that would give me 10? Well, I know that that would have to be a 3. So I'm going to take 3 out of that 6. I'm going to add it to that 7 and get 10. Now I know I've used one group of 3, but I still have 3 more that I haven't used. When I add that 3 to this 10, well, things get very easy for me. That gets to be 13. Therefore, I know that 6 plus 7 or 7 plus 6 is 13. Very excellent if you were able to get that. I know we're just showing you lots of different ways to make 10s and different kinds of number bonds to help make adding simple things a little bit easier for you. All right, my friends, if you could please, will you just take a minute and find problem set for lesson 4. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit more so you can see it better. This would be page 66. Oh, wow. I got to bring that down a little bit more so you can see it better. So page 66. I'm going to put that off to the side for just a minute and hope I don't make too many boo-boos. Will you start with your name and your last initial and whatever date it is that you are doing this today? Because I know some of my friends have had some issues and they're doing some of the problems, some of the assignments a day late, which is, I'd prefer that you stay on track, but if you get behind, you can always get that made up. I'm going to remind you, though, that do not work ahead. Just stay with us day by day. All right, so we are going to start with this first problem here. I've got 9 plus 3. I'm going to do the first one with you so you can see how I would like you to do the rest. So I've got 9 plus 3. I'm asking myself the question, what can I do to make 10? Well, I know that if I add 1 to 9, I will get 10, and that leaves 2 that I haven't used yet. So I'm breaking 3 apart into 2 and 1. I'm saying 9 plus 1 is 10. Now we're just doing it tiny small on the paper. And it's easy to add 10 and 2, which is equal to 12. So 10 plus 2 is 12. Therefore, 9 plus 3 is also 12. Do you see how I would like you to do those problems? I think we'll try one more together. Actually, I'm going to come down and do number 3, and then I'm going to set you off on your own for a minute. So I'm asking myself the question, what number would I need to add to 8 to get 10? I hope you said that you would have to add 2. Well, if I break 4 apart into 2 and 2, then I have a new number bond of 2 plus 2 equals 4, and I'm going to add my 8 and my 2. 8 plus 2 equals 10. Yep, 8 plus 2 equals 10, and then if I take that 10 and I add the 2 that I didn't use, I come up with 12. I threw in an extra step there, but you don't have to if you can just say, well, 8 plus 2 is 10. But if it helps to have that extra step, please feel free to do that. So now you're going to pause the video and you're going to do problem 2 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So pause the video. Okay, are you back? You should be. Let's go up to problem number 2. Remember, you should have paused the video and finished all of those problems so that you are checking your work. What would I have to add to 9 to get 10? Well, I'm going to break 5 apart into 1 and 4. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus the 4 I didn't use gives me 14. Therefore, 9 plus 5 is 14. Okay, how'd you do? Give yourself a smiley face if you did well on that one. Moving down to problem number 4. What would I have to add to 8 to get 10? Well, I know I would need to add 2, so I'm going to break 7 apart into 2 and 5. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus the 5 I haven't used yet, which gives me 15. If you said 8 plus 7 is 15, congratulations. And I'm hoping you're showing all of these steps here so that you understand what the concept is today that we're working on, and that is making tens. What would I have to add to 7 to get 10? I would have to add 3. That leaves me with 2 that's not going to get used because 3 plus 2 is 5. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus the 2 that I haven't used yet gives me 12. Therefore, 7 plus 5 is 12. All right, moving right along to the next problem. What would I add to 7? Well, I think we already know I would have to add 3. So 3 plus 7 is 10. I still have to use that 3 that I haven't used yet. So that would give me 3 because 3 plus 3 is 6. 3, oops, that almost looks like a 13, my friends. We need to get rid of that little extra line. Sorry, my friends, I didn't mean to do that. So 10 plus 3 would give me 13, and 7 plus 6 is 13. If you can start making groups of 10 in your head and then adding whatever other ones you didn't use, I think you'll find that you can do a lot of these in your head. Let's break 8 apart into 2 and 6, because I know that 8 plus 2 is 10, plus the 6 that I didn't use gives me 16. Therefore, double 8 plus 8 is 16. Are you doing well? I hope so. Moving over to the next problem, I'm going to break 8 apart into 1 and 7. Why? Because I know that 9 plus 1 is 10, plus the 7 that I didn't use gives me 17. 9 plus 8, therefore, is 17. I hope that you did very well on that assignment, and I would be disappointed if you hadn't shown me all of those steps that we did. That's the whole point of what we're doing. Now, let's turn this over. We have some problems on the back side. These are a little bit more complicated, but I think if you put your brain to it, you'll be able to see what to do. What would I have to add to 10 to get 12? Wouldn't I have to add 2? What would I add to 9 to get 12? Well, let me see. I would add 1, which would give me 10, and 2 more to give me 12, so wouldn't that be 3? So you're going to try problem 10, 11, and 12. A little bit more complicated than what we just did a minute ago. Pause the video and work your way through those next problem sets. Okay? Pause the video. Okay, are you back? I hope so. Let's take a look at problem number 10. What do I have to add to 10 to get 13? Well, I know I would have to add 3. So if I'm going to add 9 to 13, wouldn't that be 1 more? It would be. 9 and 4 is 13. How did you do? Did you get where you needed to be? Now let's use 10 again. What would I add to 10 to get 14? I would add 4. I would need to be 2 more because it takes 2 more to get to 10. So wouldn't this be 4 plus 2 more would give me 6. 8 plus 6 is 14. Are you getting there? This is a little more complicated than the other side, but I think with practice you will get there. What do we add to 10 to get 16? Well, we would be adding 6. So if I had 7 and I wanted to get to 16, 7 would need 3 more to get to 10, wouldn't it? So if I think 3 more plus this 6, which took to get to 16 here, wouldn't that give me 9? It would. 9 plus 7 is 16. How did I figure that out? Well, I said to myself, how much more do I need to get to 10? I would need 3 more, so I'm going to add that 3 to the 6. 3 and 6 are 9, and I end up with 16. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. We've got 2 word problems. I hope you remember about cubes. We did some cubes problems yesterday. Remember, cubes is circle the numbers, underline the question, box the keywords, eliminate extra information or X out extra information, and set up and solve. So let's take a look at what Lisa has here. It says Lisa has 2 blue beads, so I'm circling the numbers, and 9 purple beads. Okay. How many beads does she have in all? Here's the question, so I'm underlining the question. Do I have any key words that I should be thinking about? Well, the words in all are a big clue about the fact that I have to put things together. So would this be an addition problem or a subtraction problem? If I have to put things together, would I be adding or would I be subtracting? If you said, well, Miss Starr, you're going to be adding, you would be correct because in all means to put together. So I'm going to start with 2 blue beads plus the 9 purple beads that she has 2 plus 9, well, let's see, what would I do to be able to make a 10? Well, I'd have to add one more, which gives me one more. So she would have 11 beads. 11 beads. So 2 plus 9 would be 11 beads. I could have drawn a picture of 2 beads that were blue. And wow, 9 beads. That's going to be a lot of drawing. 9 beads that were purple. If I add those two together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I could draw a picture of that too, which would be fine, which says 11. Or I could have done this. I could have said 2 plus 9 equals, break this apart, 1 and 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. So there's a lot of different ways that I could have solved that problem. But for me, that was pretty easy, and probably for you too. All right, let's come down. I'm going to show you a different method called the tape method. And I'll show that to you here in just a minute, because we're going to be doing the tape method a lot. So Ben has 8 pencils, and he bought 5 more. Now he bought, there's a key word that I really need to pay attention to. He bought 5, another key word, he bought 5 more. So I'm asking myself, would I have to add or subtract if I had 8 pencils and I bought 5 more? Because I need to find out how many pencils does Ben have all together. And there's another important keyword that tells me that I probably ought to be adding. When I buy 5 more, that means more came in. I added more together. Altogether is another word that means I'm putting things into one group from 2 groups. So I'm going to draw myself 2 pieces of tape here. 2 pieces of tape, and I'm going to divide that tape in half. I started off with 8 pencils. Can you draw this too? 8 pencils, and then he got some more. How many more did he get? He got 5. So if I take those 8 pencils and I add 5 pencils, well, I know that 8 and 5 is 13. 8 and 5 is 13. So this is actually called a bar model, where we take a part plus a part and equal a whole. You probably studied that when you were in the 1st grade. Part plus part equals whole. Or I could have done it as 8 plus 5 equals, well, break the 5 apart into a 2 and a 3. 8 plus 2 is 10. Here's my 10, plus the 3 that was left over, and I again end up with 13. So I would answer this problem by saying Ben has 13 pencils all together. He has 13 pencils all together. All right, very, very fine. So now we are finished with our problem set. I need you now, there are 2 pages of the homework, and the exit ticket's on the back of one of those. So we're going to go to the first page of homework, which is on page 69. And I do apologize to you that those are a little bit wacky. They are a little bit hard to find. I know, you're going to have to probably take that packet apart so that you can find the pages. And sorry, but I didn't know how that was going to work. I just copied them out of the book just the way they were, not having had that much experience with this math program. But I'm learning right along with you. All right, so you have 8 problems that you need to work on this homework page for lesson 4. And we're going to be showing the break apart. So I'm breaking 4 apart into 2 and 2, because 8 plus 2, here it is right here, 8 plus 2 is 10, and 10 plus the 2 that was left over is 12. I do want to see the break apart for the next problem. We're going to do this one together. I'm going to break 7 apart into 1, because 1 plus 9 is 10, and 6. So 1 plus 9, I'll let you skip this part if you want. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus the 6 that I didn't use is going to give me 16. Therefore, 9 plus 7 is 16. Okay, you're on your own to do down to problem number 8. You're going to shut the video off, and then we'll check it together. Pause the video. Okay, here we are back. I'm going to break 3 apart into 1 and 2. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus the 2 I didn't use gives me 12. 9 plus 3 is 12. Okay, you should already have this done. I'm breaking the 6 apart into 2 and 4. Why? Because 8 plus 2 is 10, plus the 4 that I didn't use right here gives me 14, and that would be 8 plus 6 is equal to 14. Moving right along, I'm going to do a 6 broken into 1 and 5. Oh, that would not be right, Miss Star. You just made a big fat boo-boo in front of everybody. I have to break that part apart into 3 and 3 because 3 plus 7 is 10. Uh-oh, the teacher made a boo-boo. Won't be the first time, won't be the last time. Plus the 3 I didn't use gives me 13. So that means 7 plus 6 is also equal to 13. I'm going to break my 7 apart into 2 and 5. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus the 5 I haven't used yet gives me 15. 8 plus 7 is 15. Okay, continuing right along. Here we have 8 plus 8. I'm going to break that apart into 2 and 6. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus the 6 I haven't used yet gives me 16. Therefore, 8 plus 8 is 16. Are you seeing that? I can use quick tens to be able to help me find answers quickly. Now, I'm going to try and make a 9 out of that 10. I'm going to break the 8 apart into a 1 and a 7. 1 plus 9 is 10. Notice it doesn't matter. I usually try to break apart the smaller number and add it to the bigger number. 9 plus 1, I did that not right. Sorry, got off track there. So 9 plus 1 is 10, plus the 7 that I didn't use gives me 17. Therefore, 8 plus 9 is 17. I hope that you are just having a lot of fun and enjoying this fun way to add. Okay, let's come over. We're going to come over to the exit tickets on the back of that. We'll get to that in a minute. We are on page 70, and we have some problems that we need to solve here. You're going to go through and solve all of these problems. So we have to solve and then match. Notice that 2 plus 10 is equal to 12, and so is 9 plus 3 equal to 12. So you're going to find the equation that goes together. Okay, so let's go through and have you solve each of these equations on their own, and then we're going to figure out where the matches are. So pause the video, and let's see you try those problems. See you in a minute. Pause the video. Okay, are you back? All right, so 10 plus 3 would give me 13. 10 plus 7, this side is easy, would give me 17. 10 plus 5 would give me 15. And 4 plus 10 would give me 14. So that side was pretty easy because I was working with tens. So now I'm going to come up to this side. 9 and 8 are 17. Do you remember that from before? 9 and 6 are 15. 7 and 6 are 13. 6 and 8 are 14, and they already did this one for you. So let's start with 10 and 3. 10 and 3, would that go with 7 and 6? It would. 10 and 3 would go with 7 and 6 because they both have 13 as their sum. What about 10 and plus 7 equals 17? Did you say that that would go up to this one? If you did, congratulations. What about 10 and 5 equals 15? Did you match these two up? If you did, congratulations. And here we go with 10 plus 4 is 14, would match up with 6 plus 8 is also 14. Moving on to problem number 10, I want you to use cubes. You are using cubes, my friends. And remember that circle the numbers, underline the question, box the keywords, eliminate extra information, set up and solve. Ronnie uses, boy, that's an important keyword, which usually means some are going away. Ronnie uses 5 brown blocks and 8 red blocks to build a fort. I don't think this is going to be subtraction. I'm seeing that that's not a keyword that means some are going away, because I'm looking at the question, how many bricks does he have in all or use in all? Ooh, that's a better keyword for this problem. So because I'm seeing in all, I don't think I'm going to even box that word. No, I think I'm going to unbox it because I'm seeing that I have to put things together. So I'm going to give you just a minute to see if you can figure that out, and I would like you to use the tape measure, the tape method, where you are going to have a piece of tape and divide that tape into 2 parts. Smaller number in the small box, bigger number in the big box. Okay? And then you are going to write a sentence about how many cubes Ron uses. Pause the video. Are you back? So I know that I had 5 brown. Oh no, that's 5 brown. And I had 8 red bricks. So I'm going to put those two together in my part plus part equals whole. 8 plus 5 would be 13. So how many blocks does Ron use altogether? He uses 13 blocks. Now I could have also done it this way. I could have said 8 plus 5 equals, break the 5 apart into 2 and 3. This is just another way it could have been done. 2 plus 3 is 10, plus the 3 I didn't use gives me 13. So 8 plus 5 is 13. And Ron uses 13 bricks. Yeah, they wrote it out for you, but it doesn't hurt for you to write it out too. All right, my friends. Wow, we are at 50 minutes. I thought maybe this was going to be a shorter lesson, but it's not. Okay, so my friends, you are now on the exit ticket. You need to send the exit ticket, send a picture of this to your teacher. Send a picture to your teacher. Distance learners, this is really important that you do this part, because this is how we determine how you are doing. Now I'm going to tell you on these 2 problems, I want you to do the break apart. Now I'm going to do a sample problem down here just so you know what I'm expecting here. I'm going to say 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3, break this apart. How many would it take to make 10? It would take 2. I want to see this on the problems you're going to do up above. That would leave 1 more. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus the 1 you didn't use would give you 11. So 8 plus 3 would be 11. This is what I need to see up here and up here. Does everyone understand? Okay, do the exit ticket. Shut the video off. Are you back? Okay, here we go. It is so important, my friends, that you put your name on your exit ticket so that when your teacher sees it, she knows that it came from you. And whatever date that you did, you need to make sure that you put that on there. I'm doing this one on, 9th month and the 3rd day, 2020. All right. So did you break the 6 apart into 1 and 5? I hope you did, because 1 plus 9 is 10, plus the 5 I didn't use gives me 15. Therefore, 9 plus 6 is 15. okay? I hope you're not cheating. It would not be okay with you to change your answers because this is like a little test for you. So let's take a look at 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5, well, I know that it takes 2 more to make 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. How much didn't I use? Well, 2 plus 3 is 5, so I had 3 more. 3 plus 5 is 13. Therefore, 8 plus 5 is 13. So remember to take a picture of that and send that to your teacher. And you know what? We are finished for today. And you will have an assignment for you to do on Friday, and we will see you back again next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.